keep your voice down. Seriously, if you just look out the window into the encroaching shadows, you can actually see it happening, the collapse. Welcome to this explainer. Now, usually, I'm absolutely thrilled to break down fascinating concepts for you, but today I'm speaking to you from the crumbling edge of a frozen city. We are literally trapped in a grim, dark fable, watching our very reality dissolve in real time. The air is so heavy, the temperature is dropping fast, and I need to document this before the darkness swallows us whole. Just listen for a second. The pious cows of contentment are silent tonight. The great evening is here. Do you feel that? That visceral, breath-snatching fear? The great evening hasn't just been some abstract myth. It has finally actually descended upon our frozen city. Those who were blindly satisfied, just grazing on the illusions of safety, have suddenly gone completely quiet. The frost is creeping up the walls as we speak, and the sheer terror of what is coming next is paralyzing. Section 1. The Great Evening Descends, the City of Mirrors in the Mud. Okay, let's dive right into this, because outside my window, the alleys are churning. To survive this, we really need to understand the mechanics of our doom. Imagine the sheer terror of watching your static, dependable environment literally melt away. The City of Mirrors in the Mud is currently vibrating in a state of high-energy flux. It's as if the very geometry of our streets is rebelling against the stillness. The atmosphere itself is liquefying all around us. Ancient blueprints, the foundations of everything we've ever built, are suddenly ebbing and flowing with this messy, chaotic mischief. The dust of the old world isn't just settling anymore. It's actively agitating into a shimmering alchemical form. The solid ground is betraying us. Section 2. Clash of Fire and Frost. The Crucible versus the Monument. Why is this happening? Well, because a metaphysical dialogue is physically tearing our world apart. We are completely caught in the crossfire here. The tension has reached an absolute breaking point at the threshold of the void, and the Apollonian gaskets, the very seals of our structured reality, are snapping right in front of our eyes. This isn't just a physical storm, it's a terrifying ideological argument made flesh. So the crucial point is, you can actually hear them in the wind. The red specter, the logic of the crucible, roars out, "We must melt the dull lead of history. Only the fire of imagination can free us." And the frozen monument replies with this rigid clinical detachment. Only in absolute stillness is there order. Yield to the frost. This violent dialogue between fire and frost is actively destroying our architecture. Before the collapse, I was a student of literature, studying themes of existential decay. And the texts warned us of this. They spoke of the Thanatos drive, that dark urge pulling us toward total, static stagnation. And opposing it was the spirit of becoming, the chaotic potential of transformation. But honestly, the textbooks were wrong. Here, in our dark fable, they no longer exist as separate poles. The energy of the forge is actively bleeding into the frost. The bridge is broken. Section 3. Birth of the Plasma Being, the synthesis of chaos. And from that broken bridge, oh man, you have to see this. From the turbulent friction of the forge and the frost, something totally new is crystallizing right outside, a creature of pure plasma. It's a paradoxical synthesis of the fire of imagination and the clinical detachment of the void. Now, what's really interesting about this is how intelligently malicious it is. It doesn't just randomly destroy buildings, it specifically targets our psychological traps. It actively shatters the mirrors of the hollow souls, the very illusions we use to comfort ourselves. It mocks those pious cows of contentment we talked about. It threatens the hollow perfection of our terminal prisons, acting as this chaotic spark of volatile flux in a world that was just trying to freeze solid. This is the terrifying realization dawning on everyone hiding in the dark tonight. This being is shattering our gilded cages. It completely disrupts the mirage of movement. We really thought we were seekers, didn't we? We looked in those mirrors and saw reflections of a perfected universe, genuinely believing we were ascending. But in truth, we were just building tombs of our own making, blindly descending into the void. The plasma being is showing us our own existential rot. Section 4. The Wraith of Living Ink, Transmutation of the Ghoul. Let's move on and see how this builds, because the plasma being is only half of the nightmare. An older horror is evolving. I literally watched it happen from my window. First, the ghoul completely abandons its form as a ghostly, static monument. It used to be an anchor, a fixed trap you could at least try to avoid. Second, it absorbs the literal contracts written in disappearing ink that it once used to ensnare weary travelers. And finally, it dissolves entirely into a fluid, predatory shadow.
It is now a spirit wraith of living ink, carrying the crushing weight of sovereign laws within its very liquid substance.
It is out there right now, just drifting through the city, a moving stain of terminal decay. It doesn't even wait for you to sign a contract anymore. It hunts you in the shadows, actively seeking to rewrite the erasure of the self directly onto your soul. It is the deep, hollow fear hiding behind our dignified facades of order, suddenly made animate, fluid, and incredibly lethal.
Section 5. Themes of Existential Decay, the Evolution of the Struggle. Our war for survival has fundamentally shifted.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we are trapped between a horrific duality. The existential struggle has fundamentally evolved. We are no longer simply fighting against freezing to death and stagnation. The spirit of becoming is now trapped in a dynamic, active war against non-existence. On one hand, you have the plasma being, which disrupts through shattering illusions and mocking the content, seeking only to act as a chaotic spark of volatile flux. But the Wraith? Its method is the direct inscription of erasure and dynamic suppression. It's a liquid void whose ultimate goal is to silence the world forever. Two vastly different horrors born from the exact same broken bridge.
The great evening is fully upon us now. The shadows are bleeding under my door, and the liquid void is fast approaching. So I'm going to leave you with this final, vital question to ponder from whatever safe haven you're watching this explainer. As the structures of reality literally melt around you, what terminal prisons and hollow perfections have you built to hide your own existential decay? Because let me tell you, when the living ink finds you, those gilded cages will not save you. Stay awake, stay aware, and whatever you do, don't look in the mirrors.